Kent Spitfires defeated Surrey by 21 runs in Canterbury, but a win for Glamorgan in Cardiff means that they didn't make it through to the last 8 of this year's NatWest T20 Blast. Rob Key batted after winning the toss, and after the first over went for 6 runs, the Kent captain laid into Azhar Mahmood, hitting him for 3 fours in 3 balls. Key has reinvented himself in this format this year and can be proud of his efforts at the top of the order. Looking for a 4th 4 in 4 balls, alas, he was out, slicing a shot off Mahmood to Stephen Davis to leave on 14 with his side on 18 for 1 after 2 overs. After 4, the score read 28 for 2 with Sam North East back in the pavilion as he was stumped by Rory Burns off Tilakaratne Dilshan. The first 6 of the night came off a no ball as T20 debutant George Edwards bowled a chest-high beamer that Daniel Bell-Drummond helped over the rope. Bell-Drummond had made a runner ball 17 when he too was out, with a leading edge off Dilshan which offered Davis his second catch of the evening. It was not the best power play ever, with the Spitfire stuttering to 39 for 3. After 9 overs, the scene wasn't much better, with a total on 58 for 3, but Darren Stevens released the pressure by slog sweeping Gareth Batty for a 6. But the stop-start approach to the innings was maintained when, in the same over, Fabian Cowdrey holed out to Zafar Ansari, leaving Kent on 65 for 4 at the halfway stage of their innings. How much do the county and its supporters admire Stevens? It was his innings which turned out to be the big difference between the two teams in the end. Having won his side the championship match over this same opposition this week with the ball, Stevens now did brilliantly with the bat. Both Ansari and Batty were struck for 6s in successive overs by the Peter Pan all-rounder. Batty was left scratching his head, and his whole body may have been itching when Stevens went after the spinner again in his next over. These 2 maximums were hit off successive deliveries as the batsman reached an explosive half-century off only 33 balls, from which he'd found the boundary once but cleared it on 5 other occasions. So now, with 4 overs remaining, the Spitfires had a total of 127 for 4 on the board, and it was now the turn of Alex Blake to play some shots. Stuart Meeker may have taken 11 wickets in the championship match, but he was hit to all parts by Blake with 15 runs coming off over number 17. Mahmood returned to the attack, but he also couldn't contain the sensational Stevens, who was at his 6 smashing best. The timing of these shots was exemplary. Indeed, there can't be many cleaner strikers of a cricket ball in the world game right now. These shots took Stevens' tally of maximums in this innings alone to 7 as he raced to 67 off just 37 balls. But his 38th was his last. For once, he got too much under the ball as he tried to go the distance again, only to sky his shot out to Kevin Peterson on the long-on boundary. The 9th 6 of the innings was supplied by Blake, who flat-batted Meeker over the rope as the Spitfires looked to finish off the innings strongly. But they did lose 2 wickets in the last over. On 45, Blake thumped his 28th delivery to Davis at long on, before Sam Billings was run out off the penultimate ball as Burns showed off his 10-pin bowling skills. Kent ended on 175 for 5 from their 20 overs. Stevens now opened up the bowling, only for Dilshan to wallop him over square leg for a 6 off the 4th ball of the reply. With no Jason Roy, Surrey opened up with Davis, who was out at the end of the 4th over, chipping Ben Harmison's slower ball to Stevens. The crowd now had the mouth-watering prospect of watching Dilshan and Peterson bat together. It was the Sri Lankan who was the most threatening as he hooked a bouncer from Doug Bollinger for another 6, as Surrey made a score of 57 for 1 from the power play. Thereafter, the boundaries arrived in clusters, with both batsmen biding their time, waiting for the hittable delivery. By now, Glamorgan were about to win in Cardiff, and with that went any chance of a place in the last 8 for the Spitfires, but they still wanted to finish off this tournament in style against one of the favourites. Billings missed a stumping chance, but Dilshan didn't take advantage. With 81 needed from the last 9 overs, he edged a drive to a well-placed Mitch Claydon at short 3rd man. Dilshan departed for 46, and then the boundaries began to dry up, with Stevens and Claydon bowling tidily. Gary Wilson instead had to go after the spinners as he brought the target down to 57 off the final 5 overs. Kent then just about had the edge. And Surrey were falling over it when Peterson clipped James Treadwell to who else but Stevens at mid-wicket. The former England man was on his way for a runner ball 32. 51 were needed off 24 balls when Claydon bowled Mahmood, who was trying to hit the ball into France. And to the next delivery, Burns turned this ball from the same bowler to Cowdrey to put the Spitfires in control of the contest. The same over ended with a bit of farce as far as Surrey were concerned. A reverse slog from Robin Peterson went nowhere, but he set off, allowing Billings to take the bails off to lead the visitors on 128 for 6 with 3 overs to go. The collapse continued in the next over, with Wilson being totally fooled by Treadwell to go for 31. Claydon was excellent and ended with figures of 2 for 27, and although Ansari was able to hit the last 6 of an entertaining night off Treadwell, Surrey fell well short of their target. They ended on 154 for 7 to lose by 21 runs, a fine effort from the home side, who will have been thrilled to have ended this competition on such a high note. Alas, it didn't mean anything moving forward, but it will help the Spitfires take some confidence into the new 50-over tournament, which now takes over the calendar.